Look at any bronze statue or steel structure. To create them, early engineers simply melted solid elements together. They could see exactly what they were doing. But the metal used in your house keys, your plumbing, and the intricate gears of early navigation tools breaks the rules of logic. This metal shouldn't exist. For centuries, human beings engineered this world-changing alloy using an invisible metal vapor. They built economies with it. They mapped oceans with it. They connected continents with it. Yet they did all of this without actually knowing what one of its main ingredients was. How do you engineer a perfectly calibrated material when you cannot even see what you are mixing? And how did this empirical trial and error quietly become the physical hardware of global navigation and trade? Scientifically speaking, this engineered alloy is known as brass. It is the result of forcing solid copper to merge with volatile zinc. On paper, the chemistry sounds straightforward, but in the ancient world, zinc was a metallurgical nightmare. If you tried to melt raw zinc ore in a standard open furnace alongside copper, it refuses to simply liquefy. Because its boiling point is lower than the melting point of copper, it rapidly vaporizes, erupting into a thick, cloudy white gas. Exposure to zinc oxide fumes is now known to cause a condition called metal fume fever. Within hours of inhaling the fumes, those working the furnaces would suffer from spiking temperatures, chills, and intense muscle aches. Unless an engineer possessed a highly guarded technique to capture these volatile gases, manufacturing this alloy reliably was nearly impossible. To actually create brass, early engineers had to solve the fundamental problem of the vaporizing element. The solution was almost absurd. They never solved the problem of zinc vaporizing. Instead, they learned how to trap the vapor and force it into another metal. This highly advanced technique, called cementation, required trusting a process they could not visually confirm. Artisans would take a specific type of rock, what we now know as zinc ore, grind it into a fine powder, and mix it with charcoal. They would bury a solid piece of copper directly in the center of this mixture, place it all inside a crucible, and tightly cover it with heavy clay. The vessel was then pushed into a furnace and heated to over 900 degrees Celsius. Inside that enclosed space, the copper remained entirely solid. The powdered rock, however, released its invisible zinc vapor. Because the clay restricted the gas from escaping, the trapped vapor diffused into the solid copper, merging with it at a molecular level. They could not see zinc, they could not isolate it, they could not even explain what it was. Yet somehow they learned how to harness it. In a sense, they had discovered a manufacturing process before discovering the material itself. At sites like the Zawar mines in India, metallurgists eventually pushed this knowledge to an astonishing level. Normally, heat makes vapor rise, but if zinc vapor hit the open air, it instantly oxidized and was ruined. The Indian metallurgists engineered an ingenious workaround. They built downward distillation furnaces that directed zinc vapor into cooler chambers below the furnace, allowing the metal to condense before it could oxidize. They were operating sophisticated chemical systems long before the dawn of modern chemistry. By the time the Age of Discovery began, this empirical engineering had solved two massive mechanical problems. Imagine trying to build a complex moving machine, like a clock or a gear system. When standard metal rubs against metal, it creates friction and wears down. To solve this, you need a material that is durable, workable, and inherently resistant to wear. The zinc locked inside copper gave early engineers exactly that, making brass exceptionally useful for precision machinery. But there was a much bigger problem out on the oceans. As ships began crossing unmapped waters, navigators relied entirely on the magnetic compass. This created a mechanical paradox. The intricate tools and instruments used to calculate position were usually made of iron, and iron distorts magnetic fields. A single iron gear placed too close to a compass could throw a ship entirely off course. They needed a material durable enough to withstand salt water, strong enough to form intricate gears, but non-ferromagnetic. Brass turned out to be an ideal solution. It does not interfere with magnetic fields. While mapping the oceans required a vast system of astronomy, mathematics, and shipbuilding, brass provided the essential physical hardware. It allowed engineers to build precise astrolabes, sextants, and eventually the marine chronometer. Its unique combination of corrosion resistance, workability, and non-ferromagnetic neutrality made it an indispensable material for global navigation. Ultimately, the materials that truly reshape human civilization are rarely the rarest or the most inherently valuable. True innovation often lies in forcing the ordinary to do the impossible. Today, when you turn a common doorknob, analyze a plumbing fixture, or handle a simple house key, you might just see a standard yellowish metal. But engineered directly into that everyday object is a legacy of millennia of trial and error. Humanity successfully mastered the process of making brass centuries before we actually understood the science behind it. We learned how to engineer the outcome long before we understood the mechanism. We built empires and mapped oceans using an element we couldn't even name. It makes you wonder, what other profound technological systems are quietly functioning all around us, waiting to be understood? Just hiding in plain sight.